Well, a hearty good evening to you once again. Surprise! It's a Tuesday, and you never know when we're going to show up. But it's time once again for Champion Brothers, ChampCast, Bubba's Big Broadcast, or
Let's talk some Southern gospel. What do you think?
yes, look, right over there's Neil.
Yeah, and there's Chris, like usual.
Yes, we're going to have us a good time tonight. And like we've said before, you never know when we're going to pop up, but we are here and we'll be here for the next little bit talking about Southern Gospel and talking about a big event coming up real soon. It just seems like every week, Neil, when we do one of these, that the special event gets a little bit closer. That's
It
amazing,
does
isn't it?
seem that way, doesn't it? Yeah, closer and closer. Then before you know it, it'll be gone.
Oh,
It'll be back there
yeah.
behind you somewhere.
And then we'll be talking about November after that. So
That's right. That's
there
right.
you go. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by the Fayette Aquatic Center. I'm sorry,
All
I didn't have a
right.
chance to change out of my work shirt this evening. But hey, and look, Megan's back there too. Wave, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
I asked her if she wanted to be a guest. She's like, I can. So, Megan, anytime you want to come chime in, just come on with it. So, but we're just here hanging out, and I had Neil. One of my loves besides Southern Gospel and radio is the Atlanta Braves, and I've
hmm
got the opportunity to go to the Atlanta Braves game tomorrow night. So you were kind enough to let me off the hook, but then I didn't have Adam's family practice tonight, so I was like, well, let's do it tonight. So I love it
Let's
when a
do it.
plan comes together. So
That's right.
well,
Bottom
we
line is, if you'll always be watching, you'll see us pop up
you'll
sometime,
never know.
someday.
You'll
You
never
never know.
know.
It'll pop up out there, and you can watch it, even if you wasn't here live.
And we are live tonight, and I
You
already
are.
got a few folks tuning in and watching us tonight. So if you want to let us know, just drop a comment in there. We'll see it. We'll say hey to you and all that kind of good stuff. If something else you want to chime in about, feel free. And Megan Edgeworth's already waving at us and grinning at us. So glad to have you with us tonight. And we would love to hear from the rest of you. So if y'all want to, just let us know what's going on. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We'll have a special guest here in just a minute. But
Yeah.
the headline is we want to talk about this event that's coming up here in just a few weeks. And that is the Lefevre Quartet is coming to the Fayette Civic Center here in Fayette, Alabama, here as in where I am right now, on Saturday night, July 23rd, starting at 6 o'clock. The address of the Civic Center, if you want to put it into your little computer thing, it tells you where to go. 530 Temple Avenue North in Fayette. No admission charge. Just show up and expect and have a good time in the Lord. We will receive a love offering that evening. But if you need more information, just call Neil. There's the number on the screen. Or you can just listen in because we'll probably tell you everything you possibly want to know about it and then some over the next little bit. So hope that you will come and be with us for this big singing coming up in just a few weeks on July 23rd.
Indeed. Yeah, we didn't know it at the time that we set it up, but it turns out to be one of your last opportunities to hear the Lefevre Quartet, as they are going to be retiring here in a few months coming off of the road. So that's another reason to be there that night. They're
Yeah,
one of the
and
top groups in Southern Gospel, and this will be one of your last opportunities in the next few months to be able to hear.
And full disclosure, we don't know if it's going to be a quartet or not because the bass singer starts with another group that week, I think on Tuesday before that Saturday. So we
Right?
don't know right now. We don't know if it's going to be the Lefevre Quartet as a trio or if they'll have a bass singer. But anyway, either
If I
way,
was, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd bet the Lefevre Quartet will come as a quartet. But
oh yeah, you never know.
mystery is who's going to be singing back. Chris, have they
Yes.
called you and asked you to sing bass?
No, they have not.
Not telling
No.
me.
I
Oh,
saw
okay.
where Jordan Wilson quit the Dixie Echoes. I was like, well, he might be with them. Who knows?
Yeah, you
But
never can tell, can you? Never can tell.
but anyway, we are glad to have y'all with us. Carol Duran, which that name sounds familiar. And Craig Mitchell's already chimed in. Carol saying, "Hey guys," so hey to Carol. And
Yeah,
we'll be visiting the Duran household sooner rather than later. That'll become clear here in just a few minutes.
I heard that. Yeah.
But well, there's no time like the present. Is there any other thing you need to talk about before we bring on our guest tonight?
Just remember that singing July 23rd, and we'll talk about it some more tonight. But hey, roll right along.
Yes, we are honored and privileged to have our special guest with us tonight. Look at here. It's Johnny Duran. Hey,
Hello there.
Johnny.
How you doing?
live and direct from the banks of the Tom Bigby in Aberdeen, Mississippi. Is that
That's
close
right.
enough to write?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But
Man.
we've been wanting to have Johnny on for a long time, and they just run a new wire over there in Aberdeen to bump up your internet, I understand,
That's right.
so we could see you as well as listen to you. But
Yeah, looking good.
so everything going well in
Well,
your world? I hadn't seen you
everything's
in a week or two. So
yeah, everything's going well. Absolutely. Oh, I don't know about that looking good part.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, Johnny Duran's got one distinction that just about nobody else has, and that's that he sang as he sits right there on your screen between the two Champion brothers. He sang with both Champion brothers at different times in different groups. And
yes,
so,
Two wonderful groups. I had a great time with both of them.
thank you. I did a good job fishing. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you.
hey Neil, turn your camera off. See if he'll say that when we ain't here.
Yeah.
I will. I'll tell everybody whether
I'm
y'all are around or
kidding.
not.
Man.
But
Hey, I just
Johnny,
want
go ahead, Neil.
I had the idea of getting Johnny to come on. Actually, me and you've talked about it several times, Chris, about making it happen. And I thought this ought to just be the week. And you and I have both had opportunities to sing with Johnny and to sing songs that Johnny has been the writer. He's been the one that the Lord delivered the songs through. That's the way I like to think about it. And so I just want to come on and share some of those and have the man that wrote them down with us. And I'm sure he'll tell us a thing or two about them, it's how they came to be and that kind of thing.
I'd like to. Yeah, there a lot of them are just handed to me from God. That's the only thing you can say about it. It's just, in fact, there was a couple of songs that I actually dreamed, and Neil and I recorded one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, one of them I wrote. I didn't even write it down. I wrote nothing down the first morning I dreamed it. Dreamed the same thing the next morning. I said,
Wow.
"Yes, Lord, I'll get up and write it down this time."
Better write that
And,
down.
and and most of the time, you just get little glimpses of a song, or maybe you hear a little tune going in your head and get a line or two, and that's all you got to start with. But hey, they came out of a dream, so God gave them to me.
Right. Well, just thinking about memories, Chris, I guess you and I first met Johnny back in the late 70s, I would say, when he was a part of the Songs of Faith, I believe, is when
Yeah,
we first came to know who Johnny Duran was.
yeah,
And then, he was always around when it came to singing, and our paths crossed a few times. And of course, we knew him when he sang with Capstone Quartet there for a while. And then, what do you know? He landed right in the middle of the Chosen Witness wagon one time. And then nowadays, he loads up with faithful friends
yeah.
in there singing and goes out. So, yeah, it's great. It's great to have you, Johnny.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
Want to say hey to some other folks. Lamisha Vale checking in. Neil, that's
Hey,
Avon's
Lamation,
granddaughter.
Avon, yeah.
And Megan Edgeworth says hey to Mr. Duran and God bless you, brother. And we just
Thank you.
got this note, Neil. This is kind of internal from upstairs, but Neil's loud. So Chosen
That's
Witness
okay.
said that. So I don't know if you want to do anything. I don't know.
Maybe this will be better.
Yeah, probably so. But Neil, I'm going to let you kind of guide it because you do all the prep work on this, and just you sent me a list of songs, and it could be that if Johnny wants to do one that we hadn't got down, we might could get it on the fly. I don't know, but
Right. Yeah.
just I'll let you lead the conversation and lead Johnny into talking about these songs that he wrote.
Well, okay. Well, let's just start with where Johnny is right now, and that's with Faithful Friends. And I know you guys recorded a couple of songs that Johnny wrote. So let's just start with one that is one of the first ones I remember knowing that Johnny Duran wrote. And that's the one Johnny called The Flowers Still Bloom. So why don't you share just a little bit about that? And then let's hear Faithful Friends actually doing that one.
Well, as I was growing up, my grandmother was the greatest spiritual influence in my life because I went to church with her. I walked down a little dirt road to the church with her sometimes, and every time I got around her, she was always witnessing about her Jesus. It wasn't just Jesus. It was, let me tell you what my Jesus has done for me.
Mm-hmm.
So after I started writing songs, I wanted to do something to honor her. And it's hard to come up with an idea sometime, but one day, Carol and I, my wife Carol and I were riding down a little country road, and there was an old house place out there that was just about to fall down. But the little yellow flowers was blooming in the weeds and the wisteria going up the pine trees. She said, "Isn't it amazing how the flowers still bloom around an old home place? long after the person that's planted them is gone. And I just kind of said, yeah, it is. And, but I knew I had an idea for my song then. And it's really just about going back to an old home place that you knew as you were growing up, remembering all the good times there. And here it is. It's called The Flowers Still Bloom.
Grandma once rocked me here and sang for hours while she taught me the way I should be and worked in her flowers. She told me all about how her Jesus would save me from sin. But now the weeds and vines have grown where once love had been. The flowers still bloom every spring around the old home place. In memory I still see her sweet loving face. The old house is falling down, destruction and doom. Though it's been years, I see through my tears the flowers still bloom. Smell those homemade rolls from her old cook stove, and I recall how we'd walk to church down that old dirt road. Neglect and decay now claim this place once so full of love, but the caretaker has gone on to live in heaven above. Flowers still bloom every spring around the old home place. In memory I still see her sweet loving face. The old house is falling down, destruction and doom. Though it's been years, I see through my tears the flowers still bloom. Still bloom every spring around the old home place. In memory I still see her sweet loving face. The old house is falling down, destruction and doom. Though it's been years, I see through my tears the flowers still bloom. It's been years, I see through my tears the flowers still bloom.
That's Faithful Friends and the Flowers Still Bloom here on ChampCast with our special guest, Johnny Duran. Johnny, it just gets better and better all the time, I'm telling you. And what I've done this, I guess it'd help if I put myself back up on the camera, but when we sing this song, and I think probably every single concert that we have done since we started Faithful Friends, which I think later this month will be 5 years,
Right.
we've done that song. And a lot of the vast majority of the singings that we do are homecomings on a Sunday afternoon. And it amazes me still the reaction that they get. And that, to me, that's just the perfect song to sing at a church's homecoming, because a lot of folks are thinking about the days gone by and all that, and just the reactions from the people has just been incredible that God gave you that song through Carol's little lines. So.
Yeah, that's right. And I'll tell you something else too. We hardly ever do that song that we don't see somebody wiping tears.
Mm-hmm. That's
It's
right.
just. And one lady told me one time, she said, "I believe you wrote that for my grandmother."
Wow.
I'm just glad that it relates to so many people that way.
Right, right. Yeah, it's just spot on, Johnny. Spot on.
Thank you.
We're just going to kind of jump all over the place here because
Okay.
one that I had in mind now was, and we didn't give Johnny a whole lot of time to even think about talking about these.
I don't need any time.
One of the ones
It's all right up there.
one of the ones we recorded when you were singing with Chosen Witness, and you were our baritone singer for about 8 years, I believe.
Yeah.
And one of the ones that you brought to us when we was getting ready to record, and we did, was called "When the Waters Part, Start Walking." And I always love that message and that song. Is there anything pop in your mind particularly you'd like to share about how that
You
went?
know, it's just like when Moses parted the waters. You can't just stand around and see if they're gonna close back up, and you can't stand there and ask, wonder if that sea bottom's really dry or where Pharaoh's army is. So all of that's in there. It's just
Right.
from that Bible story.
If they hadn't started walking, it'd just been a lot of drowning, wouldn't it?
That's right. That's right.
So
And
let's
that's
hear.
the way we are. When he opens a door for us, we got to go through that door. And I think that's the course line, the bridge line that you do on that, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. It drives home that point for
Yeah.
sure. So from
And,
the
and, and one other thing I want to say right there.
okay,
Dottie Rambo says, marry your music to the lyrics. And I don't know if you notice it or not too much there. When you're doing that bridge, when the door opens and you must go through, it goes to a different chord right there, a seven, what is it, a seven flat chord or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just like you can almost hear that door going through, opening up.
cool.
So that's some of the little things that I try to throw into songs to make them really, I don't know, complete, I guess.
Right.
Go
Good.
ahead. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, that was from a project the Chosen Witness did back in about 2004, I think. The project was called "From the Word," where every song was scriptural based, and of course, this one is from the story of Moses leading the children of Israel out. So, yeah, let's hear "When the Waters Part." Start walking.
Ask the Lord to help you find a way through your burdens and your trials each day. When the answer comes, then you must show you have the faith to make that mountain go. Don't stand around thinking about how tall that ball of water is, or if that sea bottom's really dry. Don't spend your time wondering where Pharaoh's army is or how far it is to the other side. When the Lord shows you the way, then you must show you have the faith. Don't just stand around talking. When the waters part, start walking. If confusion faces you each day, that's the devil trying to have his way. Just pray for the Lord to open doors, then step through for things he has in store. Don't stand around thinking about how tall that wall of water is, or if that sea bottom's really dry. Don't spend your time wondering where Pharaoh's army is or how far it is to the other side. When the Lord shows you the way, then you must show you have the faith. Don't just stand around talking. When the waters part, start walking. When the door opens, then you must go through. God has a reason to open it for you. Don't stand around thinking about how tall that wall of water is, or if that sea bottom's really dry. Don't spend your time wondering where Pharaoh's army is or how far it is to the other side. When the Lord shows you the way, then you must show you have the faith. Don't just stand around talking. When the waters part, start walking.
That's Chosen Witness. And when the waters part, start walking. here on the Champion Brothers broadcast tonight with our special guest, Johnny Duran. Want to say hey to some more folks that's chimed in this evening. We invite everybody to. Look at here. Rodney Holman says, hey, guys, and Mr. Johnny. So glad to have you with us tonight, Rodney. And let's see here.
In fact,
Rodney
Rodney just sang with the Lefebvre Quartet last weekend, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Down in Petal, Mississippi.
Wanda Hill Mitchell says, great hearing Johnny Duran. We love you. I've been seeing a lot of Johnny Ken folks on here. You got the word out in plenty of time tonight. Appreciate that. Always good to have some folks joining in with us. My old buddy Derek Frerick said, beautiful song. Appreciate that. And I don't know if we'll do it tonight or not, but Derek, Neil, you may remember this. Derek was with me when I first went to what was then called Reach Satellite Network in 1992. And he and I and Kirk Talley did a parody song off of the Perfect Heart did a song called I Wish It Would Rain. And the three of us did a parody song called I'm In for Some Pain about a trip to the dentist.
Yes.
And after the show last week, Derek asked me about that. And I was like, I know I've got it somewhere. I just can't put my hand on it. But he sent it to me. So we may have to sneak that in for us.
I'd like to hear that.
Later. So
You
we'll
gotta
have to
share
get
it with
that in
me,
here.
too, 'cause somehow I lost it. But I distinctly remember I'm in for some pain, no doubt.
Yeah, we got in trouble for that because we were playing it on the network. And a dentist in, of all places, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, called in and to our bosses and complained about it because he said, he was that's what they were trying to get away from was being scared of the dentist. And here we are singing a song about it. So we had to quit playing it. So.
That's a good one.
Anyway, what Johnny or Neil, whoever wants to talk about it, let's talk about another Johnny Duran song.
How about we go and get, I'll say that Chosen Witness originally released this song back in 2002, but in later days, it's been covered by Faithful Friends. And that's what I want to share. Faithful Friends singing, Somebody's Been Praying for Me.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about that song, too.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I had done that song about the flowers still bloom, about my grandmother over in Moody, Alabama. And Chris played this and talked about this the other day. He just about got it down pat. But anyway, I'd like to tell it. When we got through doing the song about the flowers still bloom, a gentleman over in the back corner of the church stood up and said, let me tell you about your grandmother. And I was in Moody. I grew up in Gordo, Alabama. I didn't know anybody from Gordo. He was actually from Gordo. The preacher was from Gordo, and I knew him, but I didn't know he had brought people, guests there from Gordo. But anyway, this guy stood up and he said, let me tell you about your grandmother. He said, I worked in a factory, worked an evening shift and got home around midnight. So one night, one of my little boys, he had two small boys. I don't know how old they were, but he just said he had two small boys. And one of them was real sick with a high fever that night when he got home. And Gordo didn't have a doctor at that time. And he would have had to drive all the way back to Tuscaloosa, where he had just come from his work. He said, so I just got in my car and drove about 4 miles out in the country to your grandmother's house and woke her up and asked her to pray for her. He said, it was raining on the old tin roof, and he said, I hardly heard anything she said. She just mumbled a few little words and went back inside. He said, I didn't know what to do, but just get in my car and go home. Said, when I got home, the boy's temperature was gone, and he was playing and feeling good. And that's where this song came from, called Somebody's Been Praying for Me.
Let's play it from Faithful Friends.
When my child was sick and so in need of a healing touch, when my faith was weak and I needed prayer oh so much, I had friends and family who would get down on their knees, and in the name of Jesus they would pray for my needs. Somebody's been praying for me. Somebody's been praying for me. I feel a host of angels all around me. The mighty prayer warriors are at it again. Oh, Satan may as well not begin. He doesn't stand a chance, you see. Somebody's been praying for me. When you're feeling down and out and your back's against the wall, and you think taking one more step will surely make you fall, call your team of warriors who will pray to Christ our King, and in just a little while you'll begin to sing. Somebody's been praying for me. Somebody's been praying for me. I feel a host of angels all around me. The mighty prayer warriors are at it again. Old Satan days will not begin. He doesn't stand a chance, you see. Somebody's been praying for me. If any two of us shall agree on earth as touching anything that we shall ask, it shall be done for us of our Father in heaven. Heaven. Somebody's been praying for me. Somebody's been praying for me. I feel a host of angels all around me. The mighty prayer warriors are at it again. Old Satan days will not begin. He doesn't stand a chance, you see. Somebody's been praying for me. Somebody's been praying. Somebody's been praying. Praying. Somebody's been praying for me. Somebody's been praying for me. I feel a host of angels all around me. The mighty prayer warriors are at it again. Old Satan days will not begin. He doesn't stand a chance, you see. Somebody's been praying for me. He doesn't stand a chance, you see. Somebody's been praying. Somebody's been praying. Somebody's been praying for me.
There you go. There's your little bit of Faithful Friends, and somebody's been praying for me here on the Champion Brothers broadcast this evening. Our special guest, Johnny Duran. This is the Johnny Duran Corner because every song we're playing tonight, Johnny wrote. And,
Oh my!
And
Well,
Neil-
wear me out. Oh, I got lots more that hadn't even been recorded yet.
Oh, yes. Johnny, I've got to tell you, full disclosure, Neil put that on the list because I shamed him into doing so because a couple of weeks ago when our theme was songs about prayer and praying, I told him it hurt my feelings a little bit because he played the Chosen Witness version instead of the Faithful Friends version. But
I heard all that the other night. Yeah.
I'm just
Hey,
kidding,
I
Neil.
appreciate it. Either
that.
group, we both are good cuts. Good cuts.
Well, let's see. Let's catch up with a couple of things here. Our old pal Billy Boo Boo Shaw, which I don't know if this is, I don't think it, there we go. He says a young man who first sang with the country gospel airs named Charles Howard also sang with the Capstone Quartet. Johnny, did you sing with him, and is he still singing?
Charles played piano
Yeah.
with the group, and I've sang in the group with him. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's doing anything now. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
been a
hard to
long
keep
time.
hard to keep up with everybody that I've sung with through the years.
Yep, absolutely. And also want to say hey to Kim Foster. Says good evening, guys. That's Ron Foster's wife, and we're
Yeah.
still aiming to get Ron on here for too awfully much longer.
Absolutely. Just imagine right there where Johnny Duran is. It's going to be Ron Foster one of these nights we get on here. So
It'll look a whole lot better.
I don't know about that. Ron's like me and you, Johnny's got faces made for radio.
I spent a lot of time in radio.
I know. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I decided a long time ago my face was made for radio.
Well, Neil, if I can pick one out, I want to say, well, let me do this. Big Mal Mallory says greetings. So glad to have you with us tonight too, Mal. But I want to pick the next song because I want Johnny to talk about because this is one of those that We're playing the Chosen Witness version because Faithful Friends hadn't recorded it yet, but we are singing it nowadays. And Johnny, that's a song you wrote called Too Blessed to Be Depressed. Tell me about that one.
Well, I was singing with Neil, the Chosen Witness. We were down in Hale County one morning, and I don't know, there weren't too many people in the church that morning, and I don't know if they were having problems or what. I don't know. But anyway, after we had sung that morning, and I don't know the name of the church, but we sang somewhere in Hale County one Sunday morning, and as we finished, the preacher said, "If y'all don't mind, come in my office and let me pray with y'all." And we went in there, and the first thing he said, "I'm too blessed to be depressed." And I didn't know where he was going with that. I don't know if there was problems in the church, but he felt he was too blessed to be depressed. And it wasn't too long after we left there that I found out he was at a different church over in Tuscaloosa County. But anyway, when he said that, I knew I had an idea for a song. I didn't say anything to Mark or Neil, either one. They're both write songs. Mark's written 1,000, I guess. I don't know how many. There are lots of good songs. Neil's written several good songs too. But after that, the next week when we practiced, I said, "Do y'all remember what that preacher said the other day, the song idea he gave us when he took us back there to pray?" And they didn't know. I said, "Well, here's the way it goes." I had already written it. And it's
Didn't
called
take long, did it?
And then, but I made it a kind of a funny song because of something Greg Harrelson told us one day about his tractor being broke down. And it didn't have anything to do with the tractor or Greg, but the funny thing that he told us made me think, I need to write that song in a funny vein.
Yeah.
Anyway, he told us about his old tractor breaking down. It had hung up in reverse, and he's trying to get it backed up onto a trailer. And can you imagine what happened when he didn't hitch the trailer hitch? Straight up. And that happened to him, but he finally got it up on the trailer and took off to the repair place, the tractor place, to get it worked on. And he was trying to get there before it closed that Saturday. I think it closed at noon, and he was trying to get there before it closed, down little curvy roads and, just flying to try to get there in time. When he got there, he realized he had not even hooked his safety chains. And when he told this story, we was just all busting out laughing at him, But I thought, let me write that song in a funny vein. And that's where it came from.
So
That's the reason it's funny, because of Greg.
Let's listen to Chosen Witness sing Too Blessed to Be Depressed. We'll sing it. There we go.
My car broke down on the way to town. I have bills that are overdue. I got no bit and my lawnmower quit. There's a hole in my left shoe. When things go wrong all day long, I'll tell you what I do. I grab my frown, turn it upside down, and let God's love shine right through.
'Cause I'm too blessed to be depressed. The Lord has been so good to me, He's given me His best. And I won't let old Satan take away my happiness, 'cause I'm much too blessed to ever be depressed.
Life is rough and somewhat tough and you feel so all alone. And every day is a rainy day and you think you can't go home. The sun starts shining, you're still whining, you should be ashamed. This is the day the Lord has made, let's praise His holy name.
'Cause I'm too blessed to be depressed. The Lord has been so good to me, He's given me His best. And I won't let old Satan take away my happiness, 'cause I'm much too blessed to ever be depressed. I'm just too blessed to be depressed. The Lord has been so good given me his best. And I won't let old Satan take away my happiness, 'cause I'm much too blessed to ever be depressed. I'm just much too blessed to ever be depressed.
Chosen Witness with another good Johnny Deeren song, and too blessed to be depressed here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And we are here tonight to tell you about a big event that's coming up here in just a few weeks at the Fayette Civic Center. And it is a big event that's featuring the Lefevre Quartet. Faithful Friends will be there, as well as Chosen Witness. It all starts at 6 o'clock on Saturday, July 23rd at the Fayette Civic Center. No admission charge. Just show up and expect to have a great time and hear some good gospel singing. And looking forward to the Lefevre Quartet coming to Fayette. One of their, I guess it'll probably be their last visit to Fayette for sure. And one of their last singings all together, because they are hanging it up as of, I think, through the fall. I don't know if they've put out an exact date yet or not, but we're hoping that you will be there and be with us that night. Looking so forward to it. Jennifer Gray says Jennifer Deeren is enjoying this so much. So glad to have you with us tonight. And I was looking down. Cindy is chimed in tonight, Johnny. I think that's another of your youngins, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Jenny. I call her Jenny. That's what her daddy called her.
And Beverly
Jennifer.
Glenn Wheeler is chimed in tonight. And Debbie Holbrooks Cornett. There's one from Solid Gospel Days. Becky DeGraffin Reed and Jim Varnon and Jason Mitchell and Robin Lavelle and Craig Mitchell all listening and responding to our broadcast tonight. So thank y'all so much. And as always, if you got something you want to say or ask or whatever, just drop it in the comments there and we'll get to it when we can. Neil, it's your turn.
Yeah, just as Rodney Holman did. I was thinking about anybody in, I believe Rodney lives in the Pickens County area.
Yeah.
So anybody in that area, you want to know whether or not you need to come hear the Lefevre Quartet live, just ask Rodney about it. I bet he'll tell you that, yeah, you need to go see those guys. And speaking of Rodney, that's another good one, Chris, we can have on here one night.
Yes, we need to.
Singing. That would be enough. A lot of people I don't think until they pop on here and they say, oh, yeah, we may need to talk to him one night.
Yeah,
so,
Rodney's singing with Zion's Way Quartet, I believe it is.
That's right.
They're doing some mighty good singing too, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, what's next, Johnny or Neil, whoever wants to?
You know what?
I'm not calling the shots. I'm just commenting when they get called.
All right.
It's kind of coming out of the commercial here from the Lefevre Quartet. Let's just take a different route. Let's hear the Chris Champion and Kirk Talley and Derek's song you mentioned earlier. We got to share that now. People are just on the. I guess we ought to keep it to the last song, so everybody stay here. But no, let's just go ahead and play it. Let it.
Well, Derek did say this, which and granted, we did a lot of this on computers, and Derek may help me out. I think we may have done some of it in the studio at Oak Valley, because that's where the Reach Satellite Network studios were when we first started there in Nashville. But Derek said, remind folks that I'm singing two parts in there, a well-rounded host. Wait a minute, I don't think that was a compliment. A little rounder than we used to be. Ain't that the truth? But yeah, I remember we did this, and I can't remember at that time. Sunlight Records was Chris White and Kevin McManus's recording label, and Kirk was on Sunlight back in those days, and he happened to be in there. And I think Derek actually gets the credit for writing the parody lyrics to this, and we harangued him into coming in the studio, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So he sang his part, and then I went back and recorded the two harmony parts, and then Derek recorded the bass part and the little commentary and all. So I don't know, this may shut her down, or this may take us to a new level. We may go bacterial before this is all over with.
If other kinds of music can have parody songs, well, gospel can too. So let's just hear it.
And I just want to see if the Facebook overlord silence this for a copyright violation, because as far as I know, this song was never copywritten. So,
Yeah.
All right, here you go. Here's Kirk and Chris and Derek, and I'm in for some pain.
days eating cookies and pies. 401 candy canes. Candy canes. Tomorrow the dentist, I think I will die. Oh man, I'm in for some pain. I'm in for some pain. When the drill bit starts to fly, I'm in for some pain. When he tells me open wide, I'll be strapped in the chair. Won't be going anywhere. I'm in for some pain.
Oh man.
I'm in for some pain.
Oh, doctor. I brush 3 times every day. Why, I even floss in your dentally prescribed ways. But evidently, something has gone so terribly wrong. Oh, Doc, more Novocaine.
I'm in for some pain. When the drill bit starts to fly, I'm in for some pain. When he tells me open wide, I'll be strapped in the chair. Won't be going anywhere. I'm in for some pain. Oh man, I'm in for some pain.
What do you mean,
I'm in for
Woods?
some pain.
It's gonna cost how
When
much?
that drill bit starts to fly, I'm in for some pain.
I thought you said this was painless dentistry.
When he tells me open wide, now I'm strapped in the chair. I ain't going anywhere. I'm in for some pain.
Oh, come on, Doc.
I'm in for some pain. Oh, I'm in for some pain.
Root canal. Listen here, Buster. My mouth ain't that big, and neither is my wallet.
Well, congratulations or I'm sorry, whichever one's in order. Neil told me to do that, so I did it. So, and now Neil's gone away. I don't know if he's ever coming back. Okay, there you are.
Oh yeah, I'm here, man.
That, that
so
reminds me of Tim Conway thing that he did when he was a dentist, and he
Oh,
sticks.
yes.
Yeah, y'all probably seen that. That's what this songwriting reminds me of.
We should have had that as a screen grab for the picture while that played. I was thinking about that, but anyway, I don't know. Y'all tell us. Do you ever want to hear stuff like that ever again, or are they tuning out in mass numbers? I don't know. But
I
anyway,
say if you don't want to, just don't watch it, because they're probably
I think it was funny. It was great.
and if
it,
I remember correct, because like I say, that was probably approaching 30 years ago. Because I went to Solid Gospel in August of '92. And so I don't know how long after I was. I mean, I was only there till April of '93 is when I got fired, and so then so it was sometime between August and April. So, but that song's close to 30 years old. So,
wow.
and if I remember right, it probably took me about 2 or 3 hours to get those notes right on that ending, on the da 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 da, and all
Oh,
those harmony notes and all that. I didn't have a clue.
That's some
Still
good
don't.
work right there. Though. That's really really neat.
But
yeah, and
anyway,
hats off to Perfect Heart and the release they had of that song. I loved "I Wish It Would Rain," and,
yeah.
and y'all basically did that exact arrangement. And yeah, not to take anything away from that original cut because I loved it, wore it out. But I also liked "I'm In for Some Pain." Yeah,
Which I don't know if I can get it on the fly or not, but at this point, I don't know if it'd be worth it if I can find the original from Perfect Heart and play that or not. But just to give you a point of reference, do y'all want that or you want me?
you can
Well,
look.
Do it.
let's
Yeah,
see if I can find it right quick.
we can at least
Uh,
hear a little of it.
yeah, this was off. Well, I've got the reunion that they did, but now this is the live version. I think off of it. So you want that?
Yeah, give us some of it.
All right, let's listen to Perfect Heart sing "I Wish It Would Rain." Oh, well, shoot. Hang on. Is it just as sure as I click on this, it's going to play an ad or something? Okay. No, it didn't. All right. We're going to join it in progress as Jeff Stice is kind of going around and getting everybody ready. Here you go.
So many days have been barren and dry. So many nights filled with pain, pain. So many hours that I could only cry. Whoa, whoa, I wish it would rain. I wish it would rain. Just pour out, come on, I wish it would rain. Lord, open up the sky. We need your touch. We need it so much. I wish it would rain. Whoa, I wish it would rain.
Lord, we need revival in our hearts. And Lord, we need a new song to sing. Oh Lord, don't ever let your spirit depart. Oh, how I wish it would rain.
I wish it would rain. Just pour it out from on high. I wish it would rain. Lord, open up the sky. We need your touch. We need it so much. I wish it would rain. Whoa, I wish it would rain. I wish it would rain. I wish it would rain. We need your touch. We need it so much. I wish it would rain. Whoa, I wish it would rain. Whoa, I wish it would rain. Whoa, I wish it would
So there you go. There was
Hey, are you a gospel pianist or
No, I'm not. So I'm sorry. I'm trying to do too many things at once here. Get that off of there. All right.
So
Okie
much,
dokie.
Derek,
Mighty fine.
bringing that back to mind and sharing that with us for sure.
Yeah, and he said that on the version that we did, he had it easy. He used an analog recorder that he could speed up to make the bass notes. We know a little bit about that, don't we, Neil? So,
For sure. Yeah, we know a little something about that. Yeah.
yep. So,
God rest his soul, Jeff Stice. Enjoyed seeing him on there. Jeff was actually the producer and played piano on the first 3 projects that Chosen Witness did.
Yep.
He was always so kind to us and worked so hard to make the record as good as he could, no matter what little he had to work with. But yeah, I miss
That
Jeff.
song we did earlier, When the Waters Part, he did that one.
yep. And I don't know how it just says Facebook user Danny Funderburk Ministries. I don't know if Danny Funderburk's watching tonight and put that up there or somebody else did or what. But anyway, I don't know. So. And Derek said, wasn't Jeff the bomb? Yes, sir, he was.
Absolutely.
Well, let's play some more Johnny songs. That's what I'd like to do. We got, what, 2 or 3 more here? That we
Yeah,
can
let's
play?
do one that he and for a few years there, he went back and sang with his old Songs of Faith buddy Joe Brown. They just sang as a duet. They sang together in the quartet, the Songs of Faith, and y'all recorded a song that I have a memory of you bringing that song out. When we were singing, Chosen Witness was singing. You were singing with us at the time, and we were singing at the Fayette Civic Center. Y'all ever heard of that place, Fayette Civic Center?
Yeah.
Something's going on there.
Yeah.
But we were singing there back, this was probably 20 years ago, close to it.
Yeah.
And we were standing outside there, and Johnny pulled out a piece of paper and said, let me sing a little bit of this song. And he shared this song we're going to play with me, and it stuck. I mean, I loved it. I loved what it said, how it was built, how it was put together. We tried it as Chosen Witness, and sometimes songs just don't come together for certain people, and it just didn't work. And I told Johnny before we started tonight, I think we might have to bring it out around and try it again. Chosen Witness is a little different than we was back then, and we might just have to try it again. But I want to share that one, Johnny, the song "He Is."
Let me tell you just a little bit about it, how it came about. I was doing carpenter work back, I don't know how many years ago I did that song. I wrote it. But anyway, it was either on a hot August or July day, kind of like the day was. I mean, it was hot. And at the end of the day, I was so tired and hot. And the old truck didn't have an air conditioner in it. And I put my arm out the window to get a little cool air. And when I felt that air going up that sleeve, it felt so good. I said, "Woo, he is the coolest in each summer breeze." And I always kept a legal pad on the seat beside me and a pen or a pencil or something there. And I trying to drive, and write, and that's hard to do. But anyway, I wrote down, "He is the coolest in each summer breeze." And I didn't try to look at it, see if I wrote it down right, if you could read it. But anyway, went on just a little ways, and over to the side of the road, there were some big old oak trees. And I looked up and I said, "He is the strength in the mighty oak trees." I wrote that down. A little farther down the road, I looked back to the west, and there was a beautiful red sunset. I said, "He is the color in each setting sun." I wrote that down. When I got home, I pulled in the driveway, and I was so tired, and I tried to see what I had written there, tried to read what I had written on that pad. And I thought, "He is my rest when my day's work is done." And I wrote that down. So that's half of the first verse right there. It just happened. God gave it to me. I don't know. And I was telling Neil earlier, it's one of the most perfectly formed songs that I've ever written. When you write a verse of a song, your first verse, each syllable better match the second verse, syllable by syllable, so that you can write music for it and everything will fit. And Jerry House taught me form in writing songs. He taught me how they're supposed to do. And so this particular song has 10 syllables in every line of each verse. Now the chorus is different, but every verse has 10 syllables in each line. That made it easier because it starts out, "He is, he is, he is." But anyway, that's how the song came about. So,
And you told me a while ago before we came on live that this isn't actually you and Joe. This is actually Johnny and Johnny singing this song, isn't it?
yeah, it's good.
Let's listen to it. The Songs of Faith, and He Is.
He is the coolness in each summer breeze. He is the strength in the mighty oak trees. He is the color in each setting sun. He is my rest when my day's work is done. He is my water when I suffer thirst. He gives me comfort, and He is the first one to console me and dry all my tears. He is the one who will calm all my fears. The power and the glory all belong to Him. Each miracle that happens, He performs them. No matter which way life turns, just remember this: nothing is as powerful as loving as He is. He is the fragrance in each flower's bloom. He is my refuge, and He's coming soon. He made the mountains and all of the trees. He hears my prayer when I'm down on my knees. He is my joy and my consolation. He is my friend who brought me salvation. He is the conqueror of sin and strife. He is the author of eternal life. The power and the glory all belong to Him. Each miracle that happens, He performs them. No matter which way life turns, just remember this: nothing is as powerful and as loving as He is.
Great song from Johnny Duran and Johnny Duran there called He Is here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And Johnny Duran right there in the middle is our special guest this evening. And just a couple other shout outs right quick. Shirley Simpson, listening over in Jonesboro, Arkansas, says, "Hey there, Chris, 143-1433, back to you, Miss Shirley, sis as we call her." And Deborah's chiming in on Nathaniel's account. Deborah, get your own Facebook account, would you? Quit doing this. And but she says, busting up in here late, who were the original members of the Songs of Faith? They used to come to Belk churches a lot. Johnny, you want to take that one?
That would be Dwight Templeton singing lead. Well, let's see now. Originally, though, Dwight sang tenor. Jake Fair sang the lead, and I sang the baritone when Jake wasn't on that part, and then I'd have to go to the lead part. I sang whatever Jake didn't. And then Joe Brown was singing bass. And then later, we had Jack Hope playing the piano. And then later, Jake dropped out of the group and Jack dropped out of the group. So we got Tony Black playing piano, and he sang baritone, and Dwight went to the lead part and I went to the tenor part, and was right up there, almost as good as Chosen Witness and Faithful Friends as far as the quartet goes. They were pretty doggone good back then.
Yep, you gave me one of the CDs that had that group. I think that you just mentioned. I was looking to see if I had it. I don't have that one right here with me, but that was some good stuff that you shared with me not too long ago, and enjoyed listening to that a whole bunch. So, and then no, I think Derek Frericks wants to know, was Dwight any relation to Maurice? I doubt it, or it could have been one of those things. Maurice Templeton was the longtime publisher of the Singing News magazine.
But Dwight has a son who's doing real well in the country music field right now called Glenn Templeton.
Yeah.
If you want to check him out. In fact, he spent several years touring with I don't know who the girl was, but they toured doing Conway Twitty and Loretta Lynn songs.
Oh, cool.
And the family interviewed like 2,000 people to do the Conway Twitty part, and Glenn Templeton got the part.
Interesting.
He's a real good country singer.
It's a small world after all.
Yeah.
It all goes back to the Songs of Faith.
I can give you lots of stuff. My old brain's full of it. I don't know what to do with it. But
Well,
I guess I need to write a bunch of books. I don't know.
You need to. You sent me some that you started working on.
Yeah,
some
I need to
stories
work
and
some
stuff.
more
You
on
need to put all them together.
Yeah.
Well, I want to do another song that you recorded with Chosen Witness that you wrote that I got to fill in a few times during that period, and this was one that I enjoyed singing a lot, filling in with Chosen Witness, called "The Things We'll Do Without." Tell me about that one.
Well, I just got to thinking one day. There's a lot of things we won't have to worry with up there anymore after we go to heaven. It's just a lot of things. We'll shout about the things we'll do without, and that's where it all
Hmm.
came from.
Well, let's listen to it. Chosen Witness and the things we'll do without.
No hurt, no pain, no harm can touch me there. No wait, no hurry, no burdens will I bear. No sickness, no sadness, no sorrow in that place. Love and kindness evermore with my Savior's grace. We will shout about the things we'll do without. There'll be no uncertainty, there'll be no more doubt. Eternity will be just happiness throughout. We will shout about the things we'll do without. No war, no hate, envy nor jealousy, no anger, no fighting, no work and no worry, no hot, no cold, no discomfort over there. All beauty and loveliness and peace beyond compare. We will shout about the things we'll do without. There'll be no uncertainty, there'll be no more doubt. Eternity will be just happiness throughout. We will shout about the things we'll do without. You may have your struggles and your confrontations here,
But heaven has no danger, no discouragement or fear.
we'll have no more fear. We will shout about the things we'll do without. There'll be no uncertainty, there'll be no more doubt, no more doubt. Eternity will be just happiness throughout. We will shout about the things we'll do without. We will shout, 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 shout.
That's Chosen Witness and the things we'll do without here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Johnny Duran has been our special guest tonight. We got one more song, I think, don't we, Neil, that you pulled up to play tonight?
We do, and there is a singing going to happen July 23rd in Fayette, Alabama. We want to make sure we remember you one more time about.
Yes.
We remind you one more time
There
about.
you go. Remember you too. So.
Yeah, Johnny Deere will be on stage that night. He's liable to sing a song or two that we've heard tonight. Who knows? You never can tell. Faithful Friends will sing a few. Chosen Witness will sing a few, and then the Lefevre Quartet is going to wear it out. I promise you. So make plans to come. Well, we got a call. The number's on there if you want any information. We did get a call this week, Chris, about a lady, asking a couple of questions. She said, we're bringing a group of church members that night. And hey, that was encouraging. Now, I don't know if it was 5 or 105, but I don't care. I'm glad that a group is getting together from a church and going to come that night and worship
Yep.
with us.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
Yep.
Well, Johnny, we got one more song of yours that we want to play tonight, and it's another one from Chosen Witness called I Can't Walk Alone.
Let me tell you about that one.
Okay.
My mother-in-law was she had emphysema and she was bedridden for about 8 years. And she was on oxygen most of that time, in the later years especially. Um, but she had written a poem, and at the time we didn't even realize it. But I don't know, a few years after she had passed away, Carol found this poem, and I took it, and there was only 6 lines, I believe, written in the poem, but it was a really nice poem. I liked it. And it was talking about I can't walk alone, and I took 4 lines and made one verse out of it. I wrote a chorus, and then Carol and I together wrote 2 more lines, and then or 3 more lines, whatever. No, there was 2 more lines left. That's right. And we wrote one more line together, and then pulled the fourth line out of the first verse and plugged it into the second verse. And I took that song to a practice we had over at Mark's house one
Yeah.
night, and Loretta said, "Oh man, I like that. Let me take that and see if I can put a tune to it." So this is written by Loretta uh, Snapper, Loretta Snapper. I'm trying to think of all the people that wrote it. Loretta Snapper, who was Carol's mother, and Carol Deering. She helped me write a line, and me and Loretta. So you got 4 writers on this one.
Wow.
It's called "I Can't Walk Alone."
Let's listen
She
to
couldn't
it.
walk alone. She couldn't even walk. Listen to
Wow.
the song.
Let's listen to it. Here's Chosen Witness, and I Can't Walk Alone.
You're ushering in another day, untouched and freshly new. So here I come to ask you, God, if you'll renew me too. But Father, I am well aware I can't make it on my own. So take my hand and hold it tight, for I can't walk alone. I can't walk alone. I must have you near me. I can't find my way. It's so dark and dreary.
That's Chosen Witness, and I Can't Walk Alone here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And we've just had us a time tonight, boys. And thank
Yeah.
Johnny Deeren for joining us. We got some things to do before we wrap up. I missed this one a while ago, but Marcus Honnell, our old pal, listening in, enjoying the stories and the songs. Good to hear from you. And look here, one of my 18 boss men chimed in, Les Butler. Of course, that picture's not Les, that's his beautiful wife, Bev. But said, just checking in, wanted to say, and he said he loves that wall of albums, Johnny. You were on all of those, weren't you?
Yeah.
That's
Some
up
of
back
them were
there
not.
behind you.
Some of them were not gospel, but most of them were.
And then the boss man kind of got me a little bit, said he'd been listening to me on Real Southern Gospel. They even called a Roadhog cameo. Yeah, earlier today I played Old Come Angel Band. I think it was by the Goodmans or somebody. But I couldn't help it. I had to come out of Angel Band with, all right, mighty fine, mighty pretty, all right. Kind of caught myself. But if I can I put in a Real Southern Gospel plug right quick?
Please do.
Because the Real Southern Gospel Radio is something that's been around since January that Les Butler's put together. And you can get it on realsoutherngospel.com or on your mobile devices. You just search for the Real Southern Gospel Radio app. It's both in the App Store, the Apple App Store, and on the Google Play Store. And you can listen to real Southern Gospel music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I've got a new show that's, this is, I think, the 4th episode that's going to be on this coming weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Let me look at my calendar here. I'm not looking at you, Johnny. I'm looking at my calendar over beside me. The 9th and 10th. It's going to be at 1 o'clock Central Time. And it's called Champ's Favorites is the name of the show. And it's when I get to talk with some of my favorite people and talk about some of their favorite songs. And my guest is going to be Gerald Williams, member of the Southern Gospel Music Hall of Fame and longtime bass singer for the Melody Boys Quartet. And so enjoy getting to spend some time with Mr. Gerald and playing some of his favorite songs. So you can hear that this Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th at 1 p.m. Central on Real Southern Gospel Radio. And right there on your screen is how you can listen in, either online at realsoutherngospel.com or just search for the Real Southern Gospel Radio app for your mobile device. And we'd appreciate that a whole bunch. So let's see here. Let me see. Look, there's Ken. He said, great show, Ken, on the Faithful Friends account. That's next up, Neil. Sooner rather than later, we got to get Ken all hooked up and get him in here one night.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so we appreciate that. So always good to hear from Ken. And let's see. Neil, anything else you want to tell or you want to remind the folks one more time about July 23rd?
Yeah, let's do that. Fayette, Alabama, the Fayette Civic Center, 6 o'clock. We're going to get started. You're going to get to hear the Lefevre Quartet. One of your, like I say, we had no idea when we set this date up that it would be one of your last opportunities to hear the Lefevre Quartet live as they have decided to come off the road. But we're going to have a great night that night. Faithful Friends will sing a few, Chosen Witness will sing a few, and then we'll have a whole lot of Lefevre Quartet. We had a great service back in March. We had the Dixie Echoes there, and after that event, we were encouraged enough to say, hey, let's do this at least 3 times a year. So that's what we're doing. March, July, November. We're going to have events there at the Fayette Civic Center. And so July is just right around the corner now, July 23rd. And so you folks come out and be a part, and because I promise you'll miss a great night if you're not there.
And Les Butler's chiming in on a whole kind of stuff. I'm not going to put all these up there, but he said, Neil, thank you for your support of Real Southern Gospel Radio. Today's your day on Real Southern Gospel in honor of our dad, who was born on April the 5th, so the 5th of every month. Get to hear a little bit about that as you've been getting to today. So Les thanks you for that, as I do as well. So good to have Les tuning in tonight. Appreciate him so much and giving me an opportunity. I told him not long ago of something that I never thought I'd get to do anymore, play Southern Gospel music on the radio. And although it may be not the kind of radio you can tune in, but it's, for all intents and purposes, it's radio, and it's real radio, and it's real Southern Gospel radio, which is the best part about it all. So,
right, and it's a regular part of my day now. I just, when I go to work and start working, and I crank it up. And if I'm not on a conference call with a customer, then I got Real Southern Gospel Radio playing. So just a regular part of my day. I
I
love
don't
it.
know. Some of your customers might need to hear it too. You might just play it in the background, see if they say anything.
There's been a time or two it's been in the background. You're right. You're right. Yep.
Well, Johnny, thank you so much for joining
Hey,
us. It was a pleasant surprise that we were able to get it all hooked up to where we
I,
could see you as well as hear you tonight.
I really appreciate y'all having me on tonight. I really, really do. Thank you so much.
And as far as I know, I'll see you Sunday. Faithful Friends is singing down in Ethelsville, Alabama at Mount Moriah Free Will Baptist Church with Brother
And
Lloyd Climbing and all those fine folks. So
did you know that that's the oldest Free Will Baptist church in Alabama?
I remember them telling us that last year. Yep,
Yep.
sure is. So Faithful Friends is looking forward to being there this Sunday. So if you're in the neighborhood, I think it starts at 10:30, and then they'll have the regular morning service, and then lunch, and then a little bit more singing in the afternoon. So hope you can be with us, and looking forward to us being there too.
That's right.
Neil, y'all got any coming up besides July 23rd that you need to tell about?
The 17th, July the 17th, that's a Sunday down in Pickens County, not too far from Mount Moriah. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact, it's Union Hill, I believe, Free Will
there you
Baptist.
go.
Like I say, not too far, kind of a stone's throw across the hollow there in Pickens
Yeah.
County. We'll be there at their homecoming. Chosen Witness will be just during the morning time. Won't be an afternoon singing, as a lot of them have changed too. But yeah, come be with us that morning at Union Hill Free Will Baptist there in Ethelsville.
Well, looking forward to that too, and especially looking forward to July 23rd. Y'all put that on your calendar and come. Derek, I'm expecting you to set out and drive all the way from Texas over here and see you, so we can see you that night.
There you go.
Well, thank you again, Johnny, for joining us tonight. Thank you,
Thank
Neil,
you.
for setting it all up and doing such a good job of putting it all together. And I'm just kind of the facilitator of it all, so just kind of here for the comedic effect. So,
I really enjoyed it. Thank y'all so much.
yep, thank y'all, and don't know when it'll be next week. Probably Wednesday, Neil, or
Probably.
sometime.
We'll
But
see. Yeah.
we'll be back with you. Just keep the lookout on all the usual pages that you see us on, and hope you'll be back with us next time. I think one of our guests next time is going to be Robbie Maxwell of
A new ground.
yeah, New Ground. That
Yeah.
just left me. But
Yeah.
she's on vacation this week, but she said she's probably going to chime in with us next week. So looking forward to visiting with Robbie next week, and no telling who else is liable to show up. You just never know. So we'll see y'all whenever next time is. God love you and appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.
Good night.